In a secluded village shrouded in mystery, a young woman named Adanna carries a secret that defies all logic. Each night, her bedwetting transforms into pure gold, a curse that brings her untold riches but also unimaginable peril. As her wealth grows, so do the sinister forces that seek to exploit her. What dark powers are drawn to Adanna's golden curse? And what sinister price must she pay for her nightly transformation? Embark on a journey filled with magic, greed, and danger, where every twist plunges deeper into the enigma of Adanna's fate. Will she break free from her golden shackles, or will the curse consume her soul? Discover the chilling tale of the curse of the Golden Bedwetting. At first, Adanna was horrified by her condition. The thought of the villagers discovering her secret filled her with dread. She imagined their whispers, their fearful glances, and the inevitable isolation. But as the gold began to accumulate, Adanna's fear turned into a cautious curiosity. What if this curse could be a blessing in disguise? Under the cover of darkness, Adanna began to test the limits of her newfound wealth. She discreetly funded the construction of schools, wells, and roads, watching from the shadows as her village transformed. The villagers marveled at their sudden fortune, unaware of the source. Adanna's heart swelled with a mix of pride and anxiety. She was playing a dangerous game, balancing on the edge of discovery and ruin. But with each passing night, the weight of her secret grew heavier. The gold brought prosperity, but it also attracted attention. Whispers of the village's mysterious benefactor spread, and curious eyes began to search for answers. Adanna knew it was only a matter of time before someone connected the dots. The question was, would they see her as a savior or a cursed soul? However, word of Adanna's mysterious wealth soon spread beyond the village, carried by the whispers of envious tongues. Greedy eyes turned towards her, and the legend of her golden curse reached the ears of Oba, a powerful and ruthless warlord known for his insatiable hunger for wealth. Determined to seize her fortune, Oba devised a sinister plan to capture Adanna and force her to produce gold for him. On a moonless night, when the village was cloaked in darkness, Oba's men descended like shadows. They stormed the village with silent precision, capturing Adanna before anyone could raise an alarm. Bound and blindfolded, she was taken to Oba's impregnable fortress, a place where hope was said to go to die. Adanna was locked in a lavish chamber, its opulence a stark contrast to her captivity. Guards stood watch at every corner, their eyes cold and unyielding. Oba, with a cruel smile, demanded that she continue her nightly ritual, threatening her with unimaginable horrors if she refused. The walls of her gilded prison seemed to close in on her, and Adanna realized that her curse had become a weapon in the hands of a monster. Each morning, the guards would enter her chamber with cold, calculating eyes, collecting the golden sheets and presenting them to Oba. His greed knew no bounds, and he reveled in his growing fortune, his laughter echoing through the fortress like a sinister omen. But with each passing day, Adanna's strength waned. The curse was draining her, both physically and emotionally. Her once vibrant spirit was now a shadow of its former self, and her body grew frail. The golden sheets that once symbolized hope and prosperity now felt like chains, binding her to a fate she could not escape. Oba, blinded by his avarice, failed to notice Adanna's deteriorating condition. His obsession with wealth consumed him, and he pushed her harder, demanding more gold each night. Adanna's dreams turned into nightmares, haunted by visions of endless gold and the hollow eyes of the gods. As the days turned into weeks, Adanna's despair deepened. She realized that the curse was not just a burden on her body, but a prison for her soul. The fortress walls seemed to close in on her, and the weight of her secret grew unbearable. She knew she had to find a way to break free, but the path to freedom was shrouded in darkness and danger. One night, as Adanna lay in her bed, exhausted and despondent, she heard a faint whisper that sent shivers down her spine. The room grew colder, and a soft, ethereal glow filled the chamber. It was the spirit of her late grandmother, a figure of comfort and wisdom from her past, now appearing in her darkest hour. "Adanna, my dear," the spirit whispered, her voice like a gentle breeze, "your suffering need not be eternal. The curse that binds you can be broken, but it demands a selfless act of true sacrifice." Adanna's heart raced as she listened, her mind swirling with questions and fears. What kind of sacrifice would be required? Could she muster the strength to perform it? The spirit's presence began to fade, leaving Adanna with a sense of urgency and a glimmer of hope. Determined to free herself and save her village from Oba's tyranny, Adanna knew she had to act quickly. The path ahead was fraught with danger and uncertainty, but the promise of breaking the curse gave her the courage to face whatever lay ahead. The next morning, with a newfound resolve, she requested an audience with Oba, claiming she had discovered a way to produce even more gold. Her voice trembled with a mix of fear and determination, but her eyes held a spark of defiance. Oba, ever the greedy tyrant, was immediately intrigued. The promise of even greater wealth was too tempting to ignore. He agreed to meet her, his curiosity piqued and his suspicion momentarily overshadowed by his avarice. As Adanna was escorted to Oba's grand hall, she felt the weight of her plan pressing down on her. The guard's eyes bored into her, and the walls seemed to close in, but she steeled herself. This was her chance to break free and end the suffering of her people. "Great Oba," she began, "I have discovered a ritual that can multiply the gold tenfold, but it must be performed in the village where the curse originated." Oba's eyes gleamed with greed, and he leaned forward, his interest fully captured. "Very well," he said, a sinister smile playing on his lips. "We shall go to the village. But know this, Adanna, if you deceive me, the consequences will be dire." Adanna nodded, her heart pounding in her chest. The stage was set, and the next move was hers. The fate of her village and her own freedom hung in the balance. Adanna explained that she needed to perform a special ritual in the village where the curse had originated. Oba, blinded by greed and the promise of even greater wealth, agreed without hesitation. He accompanied her to the village with his guards, their presence casting a shadow over the once peaceful settlement. Adanna stood in the center of the village square, her heart pounding as she began to chant an ancient incantation. The air grew thick with tension, and dark clouds swirled above, heralding the arrival of a powerful storm. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and a sense of foreboding gripped the onlookers. Suddenly, a blinding light enveloped Adanna, and in an instant, she vanished, leaving behind a single golden tear that shimmered in the storm's eerie glow. The storm subsided as quickly as it had begun, leaving the villagers in stunned silence. Oba, realizing he had been deceived, flew into a rage. His eyes burned with fury as he reached for the golden tear, but as his fingers touched it, the tear dissolved into dust, slipping through his grasp like a cruel illusion. The curse was broken, and Adanna was free, her spirit liberated from the chains of her golden prison. Though Adanna was gone, her legacy lived on. The village prospered, and the memory of her selfless sacrifice inspired generations to come. The tale of Adanna and her golden curse became a legend, a timeless reminder of the power of kindness, courage, and the true meaning of wealth. Her story was told and retold, a beacon of hope and a testament to the strength of the human spirit.